Welcome back to A&A Diversified. Today we begin the project of rebuilding the rear end on the 2001 Ford Expedition. It's a 9.75 limited slip differential. So should prove to be a pretty interesting and entertaining video, so let's get started. Step one of this project is safety. Step one of any project should always be safety. So we've chocked the front wheels of the truck because as we disconnect the differential from the transmission, you'll have nothing to hold the truck in place. Next step is I'm gonna jack the truck up to get my jack stands underneath the frame. I actually have two sets of jack stands under the truck. You got your sway bar right here that is directly in the way of the differential cover that we're going to try to get off. So we've got to remove the sway bar. So this member here that runs from both sides, we're going to have to disconnect it and move it as well. Spare tire, we'll have to get it down. We want to get as much room cleared out as we can. With the spare tire gone, sway bar out, stabilizer bar out, we've opened up plenty of room under here. Okay, driver's side rear wheel, we're going to go ahead and remove that in 3, 2. All right, rear passenger side. Let's see if that trick will work again. Let's see, in 1, 2. We're gonna loosen it. All right, she's still in there. So, all right, got this chisel here. It's a little sharper than a screwdriver, and I think that's what it's gonna take. This thing doesn't have much of a lip at all. Oh yeah, there she comes. Gotta get her to open on up, and once she does, it'll be a mess. Okay. If I can get that, there we go. All right. Yep. We'll let it sit there and do that for a little bit. Okay, we got the cover off. Let me get you in here a little closer so you can kind of see what's going on. All right. I am not sure why it's so sudsy. It's kind of frothy, if frothy is a word. So what we're looking at here, this thing here, it's called the carrier. This is your ring gear. Okay, so what you got, your spider gears. There's one right there, and there's one down here in the bottom. The pin that you see in the middle, this long pin, it gets pulled out from right here. There's a little bolt, has some threads on it, but it's mainly a pin that's holding this large pin in. That's a 3/8. We take this little bolt out, this pin slides out. This pin is what's holding the spider gears in, and it's holding them in place. So my next step is going to be to Take this bolt out, let this pin slide out, and then the way a limited slip or a positive traction rear end works, if I turn one axle, the other one tries to spin in the opposite direction. So by doing that, once I get this pin out, when I turn one axle, it'll walk these spider gears out. One will come out the front side and the other one will come out the back side. Before you walk the spider gears, you have to take a magnet, and there's some keepers that's attached to the end of the axles. And it's the only thing that holds the axles in the housing except for your brake caliper on the other end. You have to take a magnet and you have to remove, you can call it a C-clip, it's not really a clip, it's a keeper that slides into a groove on this end of the axle. So once you take those out, then you walk your spider gears out. Okay, I'm gonna move out to the outside of the axle. I'm gonna slide the axles out just enough so I can get these gears and clutches out. And then we're gonna inspect the other end of the axle too, where the seal and the bearing is on the outside. But right now, let's get these out and see what they look like. All right, so I've slid the axles out. Let's see if we can get this out. Not a whole lot of room to work on stuff in here, that's for sure. Okay. I don't think it all came out because there's, yeah, some more in there. With this spring, and you can, it's kind of cupped. This is the spring. So once that comes out, that's the last thing that'll come out, so you know you got it all. Let's get this other one out. Not sure that I got the spring. Nope, it's still in there. And again, there's the spring. So once you get that, you've got it all. Okay, let's take a look. This is the passenger side, and without those keepers on it, you just pull this thing will come right out. So you can tell that seal, it's wet, so it's been leaking. We definitely need to replace that. And then we want to look, see if I can get this to focus. We want to make sure that where that seal's rubbing, where the bearing's rubbing, it's going to be dirty and it's going to be a little corroded on the edges because, it is 20 years old. We want to make sure that there's no grooves, major grooves, pits. All I'm really feeling is just some grit and grime, and we'll clean that up. Okay, I think I've got you in here to where you can kind of see better. So this is one from the driver's side, and we'll take these off and stack them over in order so we don't get them all mixed up, but still pretty nasty, so you definitely want to wear gloves when doing this. So this is, wow, it's kind of got a pretty heavy ridge on it inside the middle there. Now we get a clutch disc. It's not worn in, completely smooth, which is surprising to me because we was getting no traction on that left side. Another spacer here. It's really stuck. Let me get me a screwdriver. Another spacer. Another clutch disc. The spacer. Last clutch disc. More spacer. Here we go. Yeah, except for just being really dirty. It looks okay. Then here's our gear. You know, when you're looking at these gears, I mean, they're gonna be a little worn. I mean, it's 20 years old, but you want to make sure there's no missing teeth. You know, really rough teeth. There's no gouges, chips, broke teeth. Splines still look good. Okay, I'm gonna end. This is part one of this particular project. Part two will be coming up. As soon as the parts come in, we'll get you back under there. We'll get the new parts installed. And if you would, please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button and also hit the notification bell to make sure that you get alerts as to when new videos are coming up. You don't want to miss part two. Something really interesting happens. Thanks.